Our top story tonight, President Trump's wiretapping claims exploded today in Washington.
The two senators in charge of intelligence said they don't believe Mr. Trump, and the House Speaker said there's no evidence.
Then Press Secretary Sean Spicer weighed in, and then the fireworks went off. Now, KCON political reporter Bryan joins us now with that story today on this day before St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, the press secretary was fired up. Let me tell you, he was really engaging with reporters in the room. The House press secretary was on the warpath today, turning the daily briefing into must-see TV, attacking reporters for their stories about President Trump's charge that President Obama wiretapped his phone, for which there is no evidence, and which the president and his press secretary are now insisting wasn't actually wiretapping, but surveillance. Here's how it went.
No, how do you, Jim, I find it interesting that you somehow believe that you...
Of course they're going to be looking at these various things.
Okay, I get it.
On a day when the daily White House briefing was filled with drama and confrontations over President Trump's still unproven wiretapping charge, there was plenty of sizzle but not many answers. The White House announced that President Trump stands by the charge that former President Obama wiretapped his Trump Tower phone during the 2016 campaign. But the two top members of the Senate Intelligence Committee released a statement saying, based on the information available to us, we see no indications that Trump Tower was the subject of surveillance by any element of the United States government. On Wednesday, House Speaker Paul Ryan agreed.
No such wiretap existed.
And the ranking Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee said this about the Trump wiretap charge.
That's just complete nonsense.
That's what set the table for the sometimes heated question and answer session at the Thursday White House briefing.
Does the president still stand by the allegation?
First of all, he stands by it, but again, you're mischaracterizing what happened today. The Senate, I know.
Exactly from their statement.
I understand that. It's interesting. Hold on. It's interesting how, at the same time, where were you coming to the defense of that same Intelligence Committee and those members when they said there was no connection to Russia? You didn't seem to report it then. There was no. So you want, you want to comment and you want to perpetuate a false narrative.
CBS News reports the president has asked for no evidence from the FBI or the intelligence committees and has not directed the Justice Department to provide any evidence to Congress. But he told Fox News his allegation was based on news reports.
I've been reading about things. I read in, I think it was January 20th, a New York Times article where they were talking about wiretapping.
And in fact, the New York Times did have a front page article headlined "Wiretap Data Used in Inquiry of Trump Aides." But the article does not say Trump Tower or anyone in it had been wiretapped or was under surveillance. But in the Fox interview, President Trump also revealed some information about his predecessor, whom he often blames when things go bad. Information that CBS News reports may have been classified.
I just want people to know the CIA was hacked and a lot of things taken. That was during the Obama years. That was not during us.
The president may have been referring to the recent disclosure of hacked WikiLeaks documents from the CIA. But Burbank Congressman Adam Schiff is concerned about the president's remarks.
If this was an offhand comment by the president in the form of a dig at his predecessor, that is not how you want to declassify information.
Meanwhile, back at the White House briefing, the confrontation between the press secretary and some reporters over their work on the wiretapping charge was still pretty heated.
No, but you want to cherry
pick connections between
one commentary, one piece of commentary.
Associates saying that this has been looked at, Sean.
How do you know it's been looked at? Hold on. Where is? I'm sorry. I'm afraid to understand. Where can you tell me how you know that all of this is, quote, been looked at?
You're asking me whether or not it's been looked at.
You made a statement. You said, quote, all of this has been looked at.
Well, so that's how it went. The White House says President Trump believes there was surveillance and there will be evidence, they say, presented in a timely fashion to prove it. But so far, no one who's spoken on the subject is confirming that. And time is running out, as they say, to put up or shut up.
Well, so Dave, this has been going on for weeks now, really been dragging on. Not really much has changed.
You're right.
What's the next step?
Well, it's coming soon, actually. Next week could be the defining moment on this, because on Monday, FBI Director James Comey is scheduled to publicly testify on the wiretapping allegation. And there were reports soon after President Trump made the charge that Comey had asked the Justice Department to publicly announce there was no such wiretapping. Now that the charge seems to be changing to surveillance, that could make a difference. But the Senate Intelligence Committee leader's statement today made it clear they have no evidence of either government wiretapping or surveillance at the Trump Tower. Jeff, back to you.